Thank you for watching today's snapshot for Wednesday, May 13th for the people of Dr. Martin Luther Church. The Lord be with you. We're talking about favorites this week, and I want to highlight some favorite books. I love the book Gilead by Marilyn Robinson. I once heard an authority say she writes a great book every 25 years. So when this came out, maybe 15 years ago, I devoured it. It was absolutely beautiful. It's about a fictional congregational minister in Iowa and the theological issues he deals with in the struggles of everyday life. It's just beautifully written. I love the trilogy of books by Kent Harif. They're called the Plain Song Trilogy. The books are Plain Song and Eventide and Our Souls at Night. He's an honest, wonderful storyteller. As you close the book at night, you think, what great insight into the human condition. I read a couple of books by Timothy Egan on the Dust Bowl. It was called The Worst Hard Times, and The Big Burn about the 1910 fire in Idaho, Montana, and Washington, and the development of the importance of the National Forest Service. A great writer. Recently, he published this book, A Pilgrimage to Eternity, about the Via Francigena, a pilgrimage tour from Canterbury, England to Rome. I'd never heard of this pilgrimage. And it's just full of wonderful historic detail as well as contemporary insights as he makes his theological journey. But if I had to recommend one book for you, it would be Annie Dillard's Holy the Firm. It's a terrific book. She wrote this while she was on the Puget Sound Island doing theological reflection. And in this book, and I had the page mark, here it is, she has some wonderful insights about worship life. You might enjoy hearing an excerpt or two. She says, there's one church here, so I go to it. On Sunday mornings, I quit the house and wander down the hill to the white frame church in the firs. On a big Sunday, there might be 20 of us there. Often I'm the only person under 60 and feel as though I'm on an archaeological tour of Russia. The members are of mixed denominations. The minister is a Congregationalist and wears a white shirt. The man knows God. Once in the middle of the long pastoral prayer of intercession for the whole world, for the gift of wisdom to its leaders, or hope and mercy to the grieving and pained, succor to the oppressed, and God's grace to all. In the middle of this, he stopped and burst out, Lord, we bring you these same petitions every week. After a shocked pause, he continued reading the prayer. Because of this, I like him very much. You can see what great insight she has. And she's a poet, as she writes in a prose form. She won a Pulitzer for Pilgrim at Tinker Creek. Here's one more excerpt from her book. The higher Christian churches, where if anywhere I belong, come at God with an unwarranted air of professionalism, with authority and pomp, as though they knew what they were doing, as though people themselves were in an appropriate set of creatures to have dealings with God. This is an indictment of me because I'm inclined to high church liturgy. She says, often I think of the set pieces of liturgy as certain words which people have successfully addressed to God without their getting killed. In the high churches, they saunter through the liturgy like Mohawks along a strand of scaffolding who have long since forgotten their danger. If God were to blast such a service to bits, the congregation would be, I believe, genuinely shocked. But in the low churches, you expect it at any minute. This is the beginning of wisdom. Maybe it'll whet your appetite to get a copy of Holy the Firm. Let's conclude with the verse of blessed be the tie that binds. Blessed be the tie that binds our hearts in Christian love. The fellowship of kindred minds is like to that above. God bless you today.